Part 1. If you've been learning English for a while, you've probably encountered a frustrating aspect of the language, phrasal verbs. These unique combinations of verbs and particles, like prepositions or adverbs, can often leave learners puzzled. One moment, the phrase pick up means to collect something, and the next, it means to improve. It's no wonder that phrasal verbs are often considered one of the most challenging aspects of mastering English. But what if I told you there was an effective way to understand and master phrasal verbs? Instead of memorizing isolated phrases, we're going to explore how you can learn them through contextual examples, seeing and using them in real-life situations. By connecting phrasal verbs with familiar scenarios, you can start to feel more comfortable with their meanings and applications. In this video, we'll dive into the techniques that can help you truly grasp phrasal verbs so you can use them confidently and naturally in your speech. By the end, you'll understand how to go beyond the theory and start using these expressions effectively in real conversations. Part 2. So, how do we move beyond the confusion of phrasal verbs and start using them naturally? The key is to immerse yourself in context. When you learn a phrasal verb rather than just memorizing its definition, it's essential to understand how it's used in context. This is where real-life examples come into play. For instance, take the phrasal verb bring up. It can mean to raise a topic in a conversation, but its meaning might change depending on how it's used. Imagine you're watching a TV show where one character says, "Don't bring it up in front of the boss." In this context, it's clear that bring up means to mention or discuss something. But now, imagine hearing the same phrase in a different context. He brought up the issue during the meeting. Again, it's used in a similar way but in a more formal situation. By paying attention to how phrasal verbs are used in different contexts, such as movies, TV shows, books, or real conversations, you can start to see the patterns in their usage. This will help you understand not just the meaning of the verb itself, but also the way it functions in the flow of everyday communication. Incorporating phrasal verbs into your regular language practice, such as by watching media in English, can help you encounter these verbs in real-life situations. This exposure allows you to connect the words with actual scenarios, making them easier to remember and use yourself. Part 3. To truly master phrasal verbs, it's essential to practice them regularly, not just passively learn them. One powerful technique is to use contextual examples that are personal and meaningful to you. The more real-world examples you create, the easier it will be to remember and use phrasal verbs in conversations. Here's how you can do it. 1. Create your own sentences. After learning a new phrasal verb, think of your own situations where you would use it. For example, if you've learned run into, to meet someone unexpectedly, you can create a sentence like, "I ran into my old friend at the grocery store yesterday." By connecting it to your own life, you're making the verb more memorable. Number 2. Use flashcards with examples. On one side, write the phrasal verb. On the other side, write a sentence using that verb in context. Review these cards regularly to reinforce your learning. This helps you retain both the meaning and the usage of the phrasal verb. 3. Contextual repetition. Repetition is key to mastering anything in a language. As you come across phrasal verbs in different contexts, whether it's in a book, a show, or a conversation, pay attention to the exact situations in which they're used. The more often you encounter them, the easier it will be to integrate them into your own speaking and writing. By engaging with phrasal verbs in this active way, you're not just memorizing isolated phrases. You're learning how to use them naturally, just like a native speaker would. This method also helps you gain a deeper understanding of the language, including its subtleties and nuances. Part 4. Real-life experiences show how these techniques truly work in action. Many learners have found that when they start using phrasal verbs in their daily conversations, their confidence and fluency improve dramatically. One such learner shared that they had been struggling to understand the difference between turn up and turn on. But after watching movies, taking notes on how these phrasal verbs were used, and then practicing them in conversations, they began to use them with ease. For example, during a casual conversation with a language partner, they used turn up to refer to someone arriving unexpectedly. She just turned up at my door without warning. In another conversation, they used turn on to describe starting a device. Don't forget to turn on the lights before you leave. By regularly incorporating phrasal verbs into real-life conversations, learners start to notice a shift. The more you practice, the more confident you'll feel when these words naturally pop up in conversations. As you gain more exposure to them, they become an automatic part of your language toolkit. Part 5. To wrap up, remember that mastering phrasal verbs is about more than just memorizing them. It's about understanding their usage in real-life contexts and practicing them in conversations. By using contextual examples, watching movies or TV shows, and regularly incorporating new phrasal verbs into your daily language practice, you'll soon find that these phrases become second nature. Consistency is the key. The more you practice, the more naturally these verbs will come to you in conversations. Start today by picking a few phrasal verbs, learning them through context, and creating sentences that relate to your own life. With time, you'll notice that your English sounds more fluid, more natural, and more like a native speaker's. So, embrace this approach and enjoy the process of mastering phrasal verbs. The more you engage with the language in this way, the more confident and fluent you'll become.